Good morning, everyone. I'm Deborah Kozlovic, and I'm a Creative Memories Independent Advisor from Australia. Welcome to Creating Your Memories. I wanted to pop on today to share with you a simple technique of making a rainbow using one of my favorite tools, the circle cutter. This is the rainbow we'll be making in segments today, and I'll show you how I did the sun rays and the clouds. So the paper pack that I'm using, it came from the secret box from the June Worldwide Virtual Crop, Feeling Bright. So I've collected out a few colours that I want to use to create my rainbow today. So I've got these ones here. I'm going to use this yellow and white one as the sun rays that go up behind the rainbow. Cardstock from our exclusive card buffet that we just recently had, Tropical Blaze. So to start off with, just put everything else aside. I'm just going to start off with my first cut, which is going to be at 11 inches. So I think I'm going to use the green as my first cut. So when we cut the rainbow out, we only want to use half the paper. We don't want to use the whole 12 by 12 paper. We only want to use half. So when I'm lining it up on my board, I'm just going to line my paper up on the 3 inches, and then I know that my center point is at 6 inches. So when I put my circle maker down, I'm going to make sure that I put that dot right on the 6 inches. So now with the circle cutter, I'm now going to move my dial up to the 11 inches. So that's now sitting on 11 inches, and that would be my first cut. So on either side of my rainbow, I want it to be 3/4 of an inch wide. So then I need to double that. So as I'm going down, I'm taking off 1.5 inch. So to start off with, I'm going to line this up on my 6 inch as my half 11 inch circle. Making sure that I've got enough. So I'm just going to hold down the big dial, pushing in the white button and then pushing down and doing my first cut. Leaving my finger on the dial, I'm going to loosen the white knob, and then I'm going to take it down 1.5 inches to 9.5. So just taking it down to 9.5, tightening that up, holding it down so I've got my center point, and then I'm going to do my second cut. So I can now move that. There's my first one for my rainbow. So for my next color, I want to use the red. So just put that aside. So as again, I'm going to line it up on the 3 inch line, placing my paper down so it's evening on the board. So now my first cut is going to be at 9.5 inches. So we're not moving that dial. So we're cutting another 9.5. Holding your finger down on the blue knob, turning the white dial. So then again, we're going to take it down to 1.5 inches, and that's going to go down to 8. So that's tightened up. So now I'm going to cut it at 8. Then removing that, and there's my second cut. So with my first one to my second one, you can see that they lock in nicely. So now for my third cut, I'm going to use the suns with the orange. So lining it up again on my 3 inches. And I want to cut it at 8. So what I'm going to do to start off, making sure that I have enough paper, just going to line that up on the 6. And I'm just going to turn it around to make sure that I've got enough so I'm not going over my edge. So that's lined up now. So now I'm going to do my first cut at 8 inches. Holding your finger down on the blue, turning the white dial, and you're just moving this housing bit here. So because that's tightened down, it's not moving from your center point. So we just did a cut at 8. So now we're going to take another 1.5 off that. So that will leave 6.5. So we're going to do 6.5. Tightening the dial, and we're going to put down and cut. So that's our third cut. Just move all my papers out of the way. So we've got our 11, then we have our 9.5, then we have our 8, slotting in there. So our next piece, I'm going to use this orange peachy color. So I'm just going to line that down on the 2.5 now. So in first cut again will be at 6.5. So I'm just going to move it over a bit now, not lining it on our 6, but lining it up, swiveling around, making sure that I do have enough. So now I will cut that at 6.5. Just removing that out of the way. So now I want to move that dial again 1.5. So that will take it down to 5 inches. Tightening that dial, and then we'll cut again. Oops, didn't go right to the end. Just get the scissors and give that a little snip. For our center of our rainbow, that would be another 5 cuts. So it would just be something a little bit like this, but I'm going to be using a different color. So I do have this one that was left over from before, and I think that measures at 5 inches. Yeah, it does. So measuring that at 5 inches like that. And that's how our rainbow will sit on our page. So doing each individual cut, going down 1.5 inches as we're going down, makes the perfect rainbow. Very easy to do. So now I'm going to place that on my cardstock. Just get my cardstock here. So lining that on my board. So it's up to you how you want to position your rainbow. You might want to have your rainbow down the bottom, like so, and then have your sun rays coming out at the top, or you can have it halfway through the middle, sitting on your 6 inch, and then going out that way, and then you can put maybe 3x3 photos, and you could be able to fit 3 across there and make the mats at 3.5. Or as I did on my other one, I put it on an angle. So I'm going to put that on an angle again, just like that. So I'm going to get my repositional tape. So we're just going to put it on a slight angle. And our second one, small amount of repositional, slotting it up inside. So now we're just putting it all together one by one. And because we've made these cuts evenly the same, they should all just slot in nicely. And then the last one that goes on the bottom, sticking that down. So when I made the little sun rays, just going to grab the 12-inch trimmer. I made them just 1 inch apart. And then with the longer points here, I did make them a little bit longer. So I'm going to cut probably around about 3, 3.5, 3.25 long, just so that I know that I have enough. And then after I did that, I just lined it up on our second line onto the cut line, and then just cut it on a bit of an angle. And I did that on both sides. Just holding it down. Then after I did that, it's up to you how many sun rays that you would like to put around your rainbow, if that's what you would like to do. You don't have to do the sun rays. That's something that I just did. And then you can just, because I've used the repositional, you can just lift that up, and then you can just slot it in there like that. Then you can also trim off the edges as you go around. So these aren't cut, but I'll just give you an example what I mean. So it's just going to go around like that, like so. Just lifting that up. Would cut a little bit more sun rays and place them around, just like I have done on my sample here. So now I'll show you how I made these simple clouds. So I'm going to get my border maker system. I'm only going to use the housing, and we have a cloud punch stock here, white cardstock, and it's about 3 by 3.25. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up on the edge like so. So that corner is on the edge just there, and then I'm going to punch, and then I'm just going to line it up again like so and punch, and then I've got a cloud edge on that side. So then I'm going to do the reverse on the other, exactly the same as what I did on the opposite side, lining it up, punch. So now the next step I'll do exactly the same, but now I'm going to do either end. So where you've got these little joins, you can actually line them up in the cloud punch, And when you think you've got it lined up correctly, just how I've just got it in the corner there, then punch. And that gives you like a little cloud curve. So I'm going to do this side first. So exactly the same thing as what I did on the opposite side. And then we have just about a cloud. So I then, let's get my multi-purpose scissors, trim that. Usually take a couple of goes, your border maker system, and lining it up to where you think it will look okay, and then punch. These little edges that you have that are not punched out correctly, all I did was just got my multi-purpose scissors and just curved it around and just neaten up the edge. So now I just complete the other side. Exactly the same, just lining it up. And then I'll just neaten up the edge. You can actually make these clouds any size you like with the cloud border maker. Just going to clear off my rubbish. So there's that little cloud that we just made. So as you can see, you can just put it down like that at the end of your rainbow. So the bottom of your rainbow is just not lining up correctly if it's a little bit uneven. Once you put those clouds there, you're not going to see that. So then I would just make a couple more clouds for that before. Then you can put probably 3x3 photos down the bottom and mat them at 3.5. This one I chose just to do a normal 4x6 photo down the bottom. And there you have it, a simple rainbow technique using the circle cutter. If there are any questions that you would like to know about the circle cutter or any other ideas, please let me know. Just comment in the comments. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Have a great day, everybody. Happy scrapping.